In business, we are often just drowning in data about what happened. But the real game changer, it's knowing how much each of those things really mattered. And today, we're going to talk about the tool that helps you bridge that exact gap. I mean, it's the million-dollar question, isn't it? We all have our hunches, that this product sells better, or that marketing channel is more effective. But you just can't build a solid strategy on hunches alone. To make smart, winning decisions, you have to know the precise drivers. And it's so easy to fall into the trap of just looking at simple averages. Yeah, sure, you can see that one region has higher average sales than another, but that doesn't tell you why. It doesn't isolate the impact of that specific region from all the other noise. We need a much more powerful lens. And that lens is something called a Generalized Linear Model, or GLM for short. Now, I know the name sounds a little intimidating, but don't let it fool you. This is an incredibly powerful and honestly a really flexible tool that helps us untangle all that complexity to get to the real answers. So what is it really? Well, you can think of a GLM as the next evolution of a statistical model you might already know, something like linear regression. It takes that core idea of finding relationships in data and just supercharges it, making it way more adaptable to messy, real-world business problems. And this flexibility, it really comes from two key upgrades. First, GLMs aren't just for predicting a simple number, like profit. They can predict things like how many customers will sign up, or even a simple yes or no, like whether a customer will churn. Second, they use this clever little statistical tool called a link function. Think of it like a translator. It makes sure that the model's predictions always make sense. So for example, if we're predicting a customer count, it won't ever predict a negative number. It connects our inputs to our outputs in a way that's always logical. Okay, so theory is great, but let's see how this actually works in practice. We're going to look at a made-up company we'll call Brightmart and see exactly how they could use a GLM to get a much deeper understanding of their business.
All right, so here's the setup for Brightmart. Their goal, or what we call the dependent variable, is profit. Simple enough. Now, to figure out what drives that profit, they feed the model a bunch of clues, the independent variables. Things like how many units were sold, which region the sale was in, the channel, was it online or in a physical store, and, of course, the product category.
Now, once that model is built, we can start asking these incredibly specific, high-value questions, like this one. After accounting for everything else, what is the actual profit impact of selling through our online channel versus a brick-and-mortar store? A GLM can isolate that one single effect and give us a real dollar amount. And it also lets us compare categories head-to-head. So is a furniture sale really more profitable than an electronics sale once you account for all the other factors in the mix? Answering this is absolutely vital for deciding where to focus your marketing spend or what inventory you should be stocking up on. The model can even quantify the impact of time. Is there a real seasonal lift? For instance, exactly how much more profitable is the fourth quarter compared to the first? That number right there, that's gold for things like staffing and financial forecasting. Okay, so all of this really builds to the most important idea here. To truly appreciate what a GLM brings to the table, we have to understand this key distinction between being diagnostic and being predictive, especially when you compare it to a more basic type of analysis.
And here it is, in a nutshell. A simpler diagnostic tool, like an ANOVA, might ask, hey, are profits different across regions? And it'll give you a simple answer, yes or no, which is, useful, but it's limited. A predictive tool, like a GLM, asks a much, much more powerful question. By how much do profits increase for every extra unit we sell? And it gives you back a specific, actionable dollar amount. See the difference?
So, to put it simply, an ANOVA is fantastic for flagging that something is going on. It's like the smoke detector. It tells you there's a signal in the noise and points you in the right general direction. But the GLM takes that signal and it quantifies it. It doesn't just say, yep, there's a difference. It tells you exactly how big that difference is and whether it's positive or negative. It gives you the magnitude and the direction, which is what you actually need to make a real strategic decision. So let's bring this all home. Why does this distinction really matter? Why should you care about moving from just diagnostic to predictive analytics in your own work? Because this, right here, is the fundamental shift from being a reactive observer to a proactive strategist. It's the difference between looking in the rearview mirror just to describe the past versus looking at your dashboard to steer confidently into the future.
It's all about understanding not just what happened, but how much it truly mattered. So I'll leave you with this question to take back to your team. Look at your own data. What are the key outcomes you're desperately trying to influence? And what hidden drivers, what incredible insights are just sitting there waiting to be uncovered if you only start asking not just what, but how much?